sucks. That's probably going to be YouTube only. No, what happened? My computer just froze up completely. The outlet
No, yeah.
just froze.
What I'm saying is my internet died right at that same moment.
That was a
It literally said, "You seem to be offline." I'm like,
that is uh that is an interesting glitch.
"Yes, very strange."
Close this.
I'm just thinking to myself, maybe that's what caused your thing to happen.
No, no, my computer froze. I need to clean my computer out. It's probably overheating. Though when I go to the error log, it doesn't tell me what the hell caused it to freeze, which is totally great and useful.
Yes, very helpful.
So yeah, I just named this part 2. Where were we? Oh yeah, I had to bring it up. I had to bring it up on my phone because I don't want to risk it freezing my computer again. Oh hey, look, I'm on Prisoners of Ghostland. I think we were done. Did we have anything else to talk about that with that one?
Not really. It was a very strange movie that I need to watch again before I can really say much more about it, honestly.
I think I agree. I say I highly recommend watching it. It is a great
Yes.
another stand-up performance by Nick Cage. He keeps doing these movies where like they're weird and interesting, but then he's like incredible, like Color Out of Space or Mandy. Like what else? There's a couple more in the last couple, like just 5 years alone. Uh, uh, I didn't really like the Willy's. What was that movie called? Willy's Wonderland. But like I liked his performance in it, so like I get it. Um, let's see here. Add to list. Okay, it's already been added to the list. Cool. I gotta go to our list now. Sorry, chat. Everything got turned around. Movies with Justin. Where are we at? Oh, page 14. Very bottom. Santa with Muscles, starring Hulk Hogan. Oh, what a movie this was. This is one of my favorite pieces in the NAR. A lot. I mean, the average rating is 1.6. Okay, on Letterboxd, where film fans are. Even Justin DeClue, one of my favorite film reviewers, because I usually vibe with his reviews, gave it 2 stars. I'm one of like 3 people on this fucking app that has given this movie 4 fucking stars out of 5, or 8 out of 10 in my normal fashion.
This also feels very much like Nanar cinema to me.
It is.
It's just,
I mean, 100%. Sorry.
it's absolutely ridiculous, but not in a bad way.
No.
There were moments that reminded me of Safe House with Patrick Stewart,
A
which
thousand
if you
hundred
have not
percent.
seen that movie, you definitely need to. Um,
I mean, a little
let's
bit like
see.
Reckless. It felt like in a lot of ways.
Uh, I didn't get that.
We gotta end up rewatching that so we can talk about it in the show too.
Yeah,
Because we need an excuse to watch. We're gonna do a spotlight episode on that eventually. Maybe that's what we'll save it for, a spotlight.
perhaps, perhaps indeed.
I like the idea of going through a movie so obscure most people aren't gonna be able to watch it. Not in like some elitist way, but it sounds cool, like a good way to promote the movie. To be clear, though I am totally elitist, you fucking swine. Get to it.
About it, yeah. So the problem is that like it is so obscure that there's literally no way to watch
I
it
think
except
it's on
for
YouTube actually right now. But to be fair,
Is it?
I'm pretty
But
sure.
like through YouTube, through the company, or
No, no, not legally. No,
yeah.
not in any legal fashion. It's still on VHS. It's just the same VHS rip. It's not the VHS. It's actually probably the same VHS rip you made, because
Uh,
I pass it around to more than a few people. Because I am in more than a few discords that are
this is
for
good
about.
though. It's getting out there.
I'm
Good.
in. I'm in more than one Discord. I've been on like Cinemageddon here is a fucking BitTorrent tracker, a private BitTorrent tracker I used to be part of. Uh, and so like I've met film fans, and so when I go, hey bro, you need to fucking watch this movie, guess what fucking happens? My friends watch these movies and they go, "What the fuck did you just show me?" Or "That was incredible." And Reckless is gaining popularity. There is
Yes.
a pretty good chance because it could get released by like Vinegar Syndrome or something. Like, it's the perfect kind of
There's
movie.
so much to be said about this movie, and the thing is, like,
Sorry, we're not
uh,
even talking about Santa with muscles at this point. We're talking about
yes,
Reckless. Sorry.
one of the things I like the most about Reckless, though, now with thinking about it
Hmm.
more, is that where is the fucking thing? God, I'm trying to bring. Okay, there we go. Knowing what I know now about what happened between Woody Allen and Mia Farrow, knowing that he literally had her blacklisted in Hollywood. He said, "You will never
Allegedly,
work."
we don't want to get in trouble.
Oh yeah, okay. He allegedly said that you will never work in this industry in Hollywood again. And then this movie, one of the only reasons it was made with Mia Farrow is because it was done outside of the studio system in another country. So
Yep.
it's just like, oh my god, and nobody ever saw it or heard of it because of what
And that's why
all that stuff.
it languishes on VHS, which is why I had to make sure. Well, you recorded, but I had to make sure it had to go to more than one person. Because what happens if our copies disappear? Someone
Yeah,
had to be able to go and like, hey, motherfucker, remember that copy of Reckless I sent you? You want to hit me that back with me because I lost my copy, and then I get it back. It's pretty good. It's all about sharing. No one's like greedy about shit anymore. It's not like in the past to get a rare movie, you had to have something someone wanted, and then you traded. Now we just share it because piracy. Who gives a fuck? Like in a sense of like the because of piracy, there's this attitude of here, just have it. I want you to see this movie, and that's what bred that. Not I'm saying advocating piracy. I'm just saying online spaces. That's what bred that. It was the attitude of just what's the point of keeping gatekeeping all that away? Just say I've seen it and you haven't. I've got a copy and you don't. That's silliness. We just trade copies. We give each other copies of movies all the time. My friend just PM me, hey, bro, you gotta see this movie. I'm like, what is it? It's a movie called Rex from Japan, where this little girl gets a fucking dinosaur egg given to her by her fucking paleontologist father, and the fucking egg hatches, and her and the dinosaur go on cute adventures, including her dressing the fucking dinosaur up. And this movie came out right around when Jurassic Park craze hit Japan. So like, this movie is incredible. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. I probably have to show it to you now. I have to give you that description. I watched it with my sister and Angel and my friend Sarah and like I think there's one other person there. I'm blanking. Too many names. I can't hold that many names. And so we watched that last Christmas. So yeah. Uh, but Santa with muscles. Is Hulk Hogan, who I think he's a rich guy. Is he a criminal? He might be a criminal. He's rich in
I
any
thought
way.
he's a rich guy. Yeah,
He's a rich guy. He bumps his head, gets amnesia, wakes up, thinks he's Santa Claus, runs around doing good deeds, being Santa Claus. Starts off and being like a mall Santa, and then he follows these kids home. And then I think he saves the kids from being kidnapped and ends up being home. And then like he does the
it's
gag.
so crazy. This fucking
It just goes all over the place. He goes all over the place. There's no through line.
you
There's
don't
just
know how this movie's going to end. You have no idea where the way it begins
it goes
with
all over the
him
place.
like getting amnesia and thinking he's Santa Claus. Like, okay, you might think you know where that's going to end up. You have no fucking clue where it's going to end up.
Nope.
I promise you.
It's
I promise
it's
you.
a wild ride. It's a fucking wild ass ride. Let's see here. Who's
And
it? It's
it's
directed by the guy who
funny.
did Amityville. Which one? A New Generation, 1993. I don't remember what
One
that
of
one.
the weirder things about it is that Hulk Hogan, Terry, what's his? I can't remember his
Boella.
last name. But he
That guy.
yes, that guy who everybody knows is Hulk Hogan.
Ugh.
He has more hair in this movie than Clint Howard.
He's wearing a hairpiece, 100,000
Of
percent.
course, but like Clint Howard is also
Oh
in the
yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna look at Mila. This
and
is
I,
Mila
I love
Kunis'
him for
first movie, and I read a little piece of trivia at one point where she was like, she was too young. She said she was too young to understand the impact of who Hulk Hogan was. She just thought he was just this nice big muscle guy. That was it. I think it's cute as fuck. Yeah. Who was Clint Howard? Ed Begley Jr. is also in this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the bad guy.
Yeah. It's just pure cheese. It's beautiful. I love this fucking movie so
What
much.
kind of bad guy, you may ask? We're not going to reveal that. You need to watch the movie, which, by the way, is free with ads.
I hate when
Tubi.
someone just here's the review. Ho ho holy shit, this movie sucks. I'm gonna block this part. That's what
What
happens.
the fuck?
Block this member.
It's like we were talking about Sonar Cinema. It's
I just don't like that
you're not.
that kind of review is
Yeah,
not constructive or wanted. So I block him on Letterboxd. So I don't see him. That's it.
this is the kind of movie that you get some friends together, you get some weed, and
Or
you get some
beer.
beer and booze,
Yeah,
and
whatever your
you,
your
you come
your
up with a
libation of
drinking
choice.
game, and you just have fun watching this movie. Do not take it
If you
seriously.
have psychedelics and it's legal to do so in your region, you should do them because this movie would be such a trip because you would get distracted by something and come back and you would think it'd be a completely different movie. Trust me, you would you would be like, "What? Are we watching the same movie? Where's where's Hulk Hogan? Like why is Santa Claus here? Like it's so you need to see Santa with muscles. It's on isn't it on
Tubi.
Tubi? It's on
Yeah.
Tubi. I swear to God, Tubi free with ads. You don't need an account. You just go to Tubi. Santa with muscles. It's there. It's you might actually want to try to do a Google search instead because Tubi's search is kind of eh. That's the weakness of
Yeah.
Tubi. It's free. There's tons of shit on it, but you're better off just googling Santa with muscles Tubi, and it'll come up
Yeah.
like first thing. God, I love this movie so fucking much. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. This is top tier. This is top tier Nanar. This is a Christmas classic that I'm going to foist upon you every year, Justin. You better go buy that
I have
Blu-ray.
no problem with that.
You
Who
better
put
get
out
that
the
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray?
It's gonna go out of print soon. It's been out for a couple years now. So
Who put it out?
Mill Creek.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Mill Creek,
I bought it for like
really?
$8.
Wow.
And I'm like, I didn't know. I bought it blind for $8 just on reputation alone. My friend said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life. I'm like, oh, cool.
This is a movie. I
It
said
was
this
not
several
that
times
bad.
while watching the movie that Joe Bob needs to do.
Yes, it's very perfect
Like
drive-in movie.
it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not a fucking horror movie, which is what he usually does. But it's. I imagine he would have so much to say about a movie like this.
But
You know.
I did point out that they did do Dial Good Santa, which isn't strictly a horror film either.
Yeah, and they could bring back Clint Howard. I mean, come on,
I mean,
come
I
on.
can never get enough of Clint Howard talking about horror movies he's been in. So bring him back for every episode he's in the movie. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if
Yes.
he's like, I don't care if he comes in like every other episode. I want Clint Howard every time. I want to hear what happened. If he has anything interesting to say, maybe he doesn't. Maybe like I don't remember. Dude, I was on so much cocaine. I don't remember that fucking movie at all. I don't know. Don't know
Well,
if
that's
Clint
another
Howard's
thing.
done cocaine. This movie had a lot of cocaine on set. I could tell. Even the
Hey,
kids look like
why
they're on
was
cocaine.
that? Why was that? You may ask. You
Oh,
mentioned earlier.
the
Who
okay.
funded this film?
The producer of this movie is the guy who Leonardo DiCaprio plays in Wolf of Wall Street. That guy, the Wolf of Wall Street, was the producer of this movie. There was probably so much cocaine in this movie. This is so much. I mean, this is probably the height of Hulk Hogan's
there were
cocaine
at least
addiction.
Quaaludes for sure. I mean,
Oh God, my brain. Whenever I'm tired, the thing that I think of is the scene where Leo DiCaprio is crawling towards the car. That is how tired I feel sometimes. Just, Hey,
yeah,
Michael.
Santa with muscles. There's
Yes.
more. There's more than meets the eye.
Santa with
here.
Muscles is 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies, I'm telling you. Reckless is one of my favorite Christmas movies for the same reason. We had a blast watching that a few years ago. Another reason why I want to rewatch it this year. And then next, we did a comedy classic, Twins, from 1988, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, a whole bunch of other people. I don't remember anyone else, I'm sorry.
There's a line from this movie that I watched it so many times when I was a kid.
I don't
want
own
to
this,
say
apparently.
at least half a dozen times when I was younger.
Uh,
On television, because it was on TV all the time. Usually on the higher paid channel like HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax, you know. But there was a line from this movie that is it's a line I live by.
I
But
got some of those.
it never became like a big famous line from the movie or anything. It's just something that stuck with me. And it's the scene where Danny DeVito is teaching uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, his brother, how to use a microwave. And he's talking about here we nuke it. We nuke the food, right? And then they finally get the food all cooked, kind of cold in the middle, right? And they start eating, and Arnold says, "I like nuked food," and that's the line. Me, I like nuked food.
So,
That's why I
I
have
mean,
a microwave right
similar,
here.
but probably a bit more meaningful than that. I watched The Last Unicorn, and there's a scene in that where the character turns from human back into the unicorn or whatever, and the prince goes, "Unicorn, mermaid, sorceress. No name would give her you would give her would surprise or frighten me. I love whom I love." And that line, "I love whom I love," is like the line that has like left an indelible mark on me because it just really describes like I don't know. I just love whom I love. I can't describe like my it's like I it's how I've always it's how if no one is always queer without having the language to describe it because it's like I'm not straight, I'm not gay, I just love who I love, you know like
Yes.
but that movie gave me the language I didn't know I had, and on top of it, it's basically a trans allegory if you really look at it. Transforms from a unicorn into a human and forgets her past. Like that's all a lot of us want to do. Turn from a unicorn into a woman and forget our past. But anyway, it's a beautiful movie. I love Last Unicorn.
Yes. We were talking about twins.
Yes, back to twins. Sorry, we mentioned the Wuhan line and it's a meaning to you, and I was like, well, I also had something this week. Literally, Friday, no, Tuesday, yesterday. Also, that movie made me cry, and I didn't expect it because I've never cried at the movie before. But it's the first time I watched it since it's coming out trained. So, and it's kind of like, wow, okay. Didn't think it would. I didn't think it would be such a gut punch for me. Anyway, yeah, twins.
So the thing that I got from this time around, because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, right?
I hadn't seen it
Is
since
that
film
there's
school.
like this, there's this little through a thread, I guess you would say, through the movie of almost like they're talking about eugenics in a way. Because it genuinely feels like the scientists who were behind this were like they're trying to create the perfect human.
Yep, that's eugenicism,
Science.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
like they're essentially talking about eugenicism
Who
without
defines
mentioning it in the movie.
who defines what the perfect human is? I mean,
Exactly. And that's
fucking
what screws
Arnold
it up.
Schwarzenegger, who's like 6'6" and fucking built like a brick shit house and blonde-ish in this movie, and like, oh, you're not telling me this isn't Nazi subtext about eugenicism? Like that's eugenics right there. That's 1,000%. Anyway,
I love the moral of the story though, which is that like even the person who ends up being the quote unquote perfect person, the superior being or whatever,
mm-hmm.
is like, I'm not going anywhere without my brother. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, it's
As a
like,
and his brother, like,
you don't think
and
my
like
brother is
Arnold
worth time to
Schwarzenegger
kick
is
your ass.
this naive paragon of a man. Like he's
Yeah.
he's like the ideal image of what most men want to be because of cultures like information, because of movies like this, that's been fed to men. But like, so there's an actual juxtaposition between the two characters in this perceived ableism, or this ableism of this perceived flaw because Danny DeVito's short, he's flawed in some way, even though the reason he's flawed is because he's a shitty person. But uh,
Yeah.
but like subtextually, the film is ableist as fuck, and it's trying to say that like you're cast off genetics unless you're like this. Like I mean, like it's not like he's trying to say these things. It's something that's clearly ingrained in the director and the writers, like brains from the culture they grew up in, and so it's kind of like an extension of that.
Maybe, but at the same time, it's
I don't
like
think it's a conscious choice.
They're not projecting eugenicism in a positive
No,
light.
no.
You know,
I'm talking about the depiction of Arnold Schwarzenegger being the good one, And
Oh,
Danny
the very
DeVito,
concept.
the
Okay, yeah,
short person who's not like perfect
yeah,
because he's fat and he's bald and like all these things. The purposeful juxtaposition is informed by a bad narrative,
yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's an unintentional ableism here. That's
But
what
I
I was
feel
trying.
like
I don't think the director's
perhaps,
trying to be ableist. Okay,
but I
you
feel
know,
like the message behind the movie, the end message of it all, is one that speaks against that.
to
So,
a degree, but it's Danny DeVito's character is still seen as a flawed human based on its and
well,
based on his traits that he's born with and not can't control because he's the cast off DNA. That's the line in the movie. He's the
but I don't.
leftovers.
Yes, but I don't. I don't know. I think that by the end of the movie, it's pretty clear that the reason that he's flawed is it has more to do with the upbringing. In fact, they have some lines in the movie that they're talking about, like the way that you were brought up, the advantages or disadvantages you had in life
Yeah,
socially is what creates a flawed
but
or quote unquote perfect person or
I mean they
more
do insinuate that no one
you know,
starts in the same starting level. Like
advantageous person. Yeah,
yeah, they insist that they basically non-verbally tell you that not everyone starts at the same level, and
yeah.
so you need to boost people who are seen who have like lesser, so they can be equals, right? Like that's the idea. Lessers, I say in quotes, because I
Yeah.
just had trying
So
to struggling to find the words.
I take your point. It is very true that like the very depiction of them as like this is the superior and this is the inferior uh
It's rooted
is
in their
ableist.
rooted in their own cultural upbringing.
But I think by the end of the movie, you can read it in such a way that
That's
it's not the message at the end of it is not
because of the message. I think that they didn't do it on purpose. So when I'm saying it's something ingrained, is if you were like, wouldn't you take like just an average guy and not someone so I don't know, like it feels weird. It just like I said, I don't think it's intentionally trying to be harmful.
yeah.
I think it's like,
We're already reading way more into the movie than they probably even thought of it.
oh, I
So
guarantee it, 100%. They just wanted to make a movie to make you laugh, and it did.
yeah,
I love the movie. It's a great movie. I laughed a lot because it's fucking funny.
yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like the when they try to do the man in like in drag and then play it for laughs. It's like no one's intentionally trying to be transphobic. They just happen to be doing that. They're just trying to laugh. But the reason why you're laughing is actually rooted in transphobia. This is the problem. So a lot of the jokes about his height are rooted in rooted in ableism. You understand? Same concept. Not that they're trying to be this way. It's that they were informed this way and they continue to inform because they're not aware that they've been informed this way. You know, the act of being aware helps you to become a better person. If you desire to be better, of course. I mean, that's it. It's like people are like, "Well, I'm not racist," and you're like, "But you are. You just don't realize it." That kind of thing. You know, when someone's accidentally being racist or being, they don't know this is how they were raised. Sorry, we had a long discussion about twins. I love twins. The twins is good. I think I give it
Yeah.
7 out of 10, maybe 8. Let me see here.
Yeah, I think it's like a 7 out of 10, seven and a
I gave it
half. I think.
7 out of 10. Yeah. Well, I didn't do half stars. You know that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm speaking for myself.
True. I don't know if I could talk much about Sword of the Beast.
Me either, but I will say that it's a good movie, but there's a lot. Oh, there's just so many like brutal moments in that movie. It's one of those movies that has like zero redeeming characters.
Oh, absolutely. It's about a guy who like murders his boss, retainer. He's a retainer for that guy. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly. And then goes on the run and decides to live out in the woods and becomes basically an animal because he just has no more social graces because he hasn't. He's like separates himself from society for a long time and he lives like a beast and that's why Sword of the Beast. So he's like not a good character, not even trying to be. He's just surviving. It's a movie
Yeah,
about
like
a person
the
surviving.
sovereign citizens of the United States, if
Oh
you will.
Lord. Those fucking goobers.
Just to make it like,
Jesus
if
Christ.
you're curious about like what that would look like in America.
God. Yeah, where did I get?
uh,
I've seen.
that
This is
would
my second time
that'd be a
seeing Sword of
terrible
the Beast.
movie. Don't watch that movie.
I gave
Watch
Sword of
this.
the Beast 7 out of 10. It's got beautiful, beautiful cinematography.
Oh yeah,
So
it's
well
just
shot.
fantastic cinematography.
I just don't think I could give a meaningful. Even though I gave it 7 out of 10, I don't think I could give you a meaningful uh thing to say about it, considering how deep it's talking about what is society, what is humane, what is civil, what is like what are these
Yeah,
constructs we come up with? Like it's actually talking deeply about human condition, and I don't think it can give it any kind of justice without probably giving it another rewatch. So it's one of those movies we'll definitely cover in the future when we watch it again someday, since I own it on DVD.
we might even be able to do a spotlight on that, just because
That
like,
might be fun. Watch it again and do a spotlight.
yeah,
Yeah.
because as we're watching it, I'm sure we'll have more to say about what we're
That's the
seeing.
thing. We had lots to say during the movie, but it was late at night,
Sometimes,
so
yeah,
sometimes we don't. Those don't. Sometimes a late movie, like 8.5, which is actually a first movie we watched, and we couldn't. We just didn't. Neither of us really connected with the movie. Not that it was a bad movie, just so we don't have
yeah,
anything to talk about. We're not gonna like discuss in depth 8.5. We're gonna have to revisit 8.5. I think it's
absolutely.
beautifully shot, and I like the actors in it, and I like the stuff I was able to focus on, but I just I couldn't hold my attention, which means either I was in the wrong mindset or maybe the movie's not for me. We'll find out when I try to watch it again in a little bit, maybe a year or
Yeah,
two. But yeah, that's it. I think that's everything. That's all we did. And a reminder, we did a spotlight episode on To Live and Die in LA. That is up on YouTube already.
it was a
Uh,
really fun and interesting episode. I think we went over a lot of interesting stuff.
it's
So
2 hours long. I was talking about this one movie. Actually, about an hour and a half. To be fair.
watch it,
And we will
watch
have
it.
a spotlight episode on a classic Korean film from the Korean Film Archive on YouTube, and on the 4th, I think I said. Uh, that
I'll
is
check
not
calendar.
calendar. Uh,
Yeah, it's for Saturday.
yes, the 4th of Saturday, which is Sunday in Korea. We'll be talking to somebody who lives in Korea and works in film archive, like in our film archive.
Right.
So, they're gonna have a lot to say. I imagine.
I will have to ask her if she knows anything about like the kind of movies that get made in North Korea, because I'm just so
I don't know.
curious about that. Like, I know they
Also,
make movies. I know a lot of them are, very
she, her. Okay.
propagandized.
I was double
But
checking her pronouns.
oh, okay, sorry. Uh,
Oh,
but
but she's an
and I've
incredible
always wanted
writer.
to.
Like I've read a lot of the writing that she shared, and it's incredible. So like I have a feeling, because she said like, oh, just let me know what movie it is so I can do some research. So I figured what we're gonna do is me and you tomorrow are gonna look at the YouTube page, pick a couple of choices, send her one what she wants to watch from those, because they're the ones that interest us for whatever reason, and whatever one she can find the most information in, or whatever she feels most comfortable talking about, that's the one we'll cover. That's why we don't know the title of that spotlight episode just yet. I will announce it on Twitter well beforehand. Probably during the week of the before. Probably during this week. This week? Yes, it'll be this week.
Nice. All
So,
right.
or this week being next week, I guess. I guess second next week. This week, on the terms of our between this episode and the next episode, I'll be probably talking about what movie we'll be watching. So, because there'll be no regular episode on Wednesday next week, because we'll be doing a Saturday on instead. That way he can make up the difference in working, so he don't have to work so much. Because this last week was a little rough. He ended up having I don't know. I feel like I cut into your work time a bit, but it's all good. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Not blah blah blah. I'm rambling. Take me out of here, Justin. Give me an exit.
Uh, Go check out the spotlight episode we did for To Live and Die in LA. We already said that, but
I totally
I
forgot
want to
those.
reiterate it because I had a lot of fun doing it, and we got one of a lot of really interesting subjects. So yes, go
I,
check that out.
this last.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
I'm sorry to anyone who watched this last 30 minutes and didn't see Justin for 90% of it, because I just turned him on. You
Oh,
were on voice, but you weren't on screen.
oops,
Oopsie doopsie. It happens.
it does happen.
So I will see you all tomorrow for Translators Talking Nerdy. or actually, I think we're playing Gunfire Reborn. I can't remember
Oh,
which. Me and my friend Jocelyn, because they did a new update. There's a bunch of new guns and new abilities and a new character and all sorts of other cool stuff. And we're really gonna play it again. So
oh,
pew pew pew. It's a really great game. But yeah, me and her, we like playing those games together. We're fun. We have fun. But it just depends. If our friend Erica is available, we might just do a translates talking nerdy instead, because it's been a while since she's been able to join us. So
nice.
all right, yep. Think that'll do. There'll be no Argentine next week either. This next week's gonna be fucking rough because of the holidays. So, but
Yeah.
I plan to do some streaming. Bye everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and
Happy holidays, since there's 29 holidays between now and fucking January 15th. Happy holidays, y'all.
yes, happy holidays.